Much love to you and yours. This is Siren Buddha Medicine. When I have dreams or visions and I can hold on to them, sometimes I make pictures. It depends on what I'm seeing. Sometimes it's just a word, a couple of words. Other times it's pictures. And so this one was like, witness what's giving energy and what takes it away. And at the time, that's what I was seeing. Or the best that I could draw it was these fractal little bubbles and stuff. These spheres. This was a different dream. Or I keep seeing the umbrella, the one that the Pope uses in the churches that the Pope can use. The little umbrella that sits in the corner there. There's a story to that. And it's attached to the ancient Sibyls and the something that I didn't want to get into right now that I'm researching more so that I could be more appropriate about how I present it to you. Just haven't done it yet. Anyway, so that's that's the picture that came from that years ago. This is just something I was working on to get back to drawing like I used to when I was younger. This is the latest one. Now, I wanted to explain this. This was wild. It was like, explain it to me what's happening on a spiritual level and on a physical level, like a transference kind of thing. And I don't know if you could see it, but this is a head right here, a person. And here is a child and an angel holding the child's hand. And here is a space, something bad happened to the child. And then the child is in the space where they're transcending on this road, it's transition, where an angel meets it. And the angel brings it to a different space where it exists inside the person. So there's these, with the angel, by the way, it's like, come with me. It's like inner space kind of thing to help with, it's difficult to explain, but there's spaces where we live without a body, and where there's essences and different consciousnesses that are still loving us and rooting for us on a spiritual level for us to evolve, right? And raise our frequency and get out of doing things like this to each other, to children. You know, there's allegiances that keep allowing things like this to happen, which is the reason why we need, while there is intervention, and angels or angels are light code, okay? And it's a message, it's an energy that comes to you to help you with different things, in short. And that's just putting it like that so that you can utilize that no matter what dogma you're coming from. And this child, all over the world, there's these innocent spirits that are being brought to that fate. And it's been phenomenal amounts. And that can be measured and felt in the other spaces that are not physical on a spiritual level. So energy never dies, it only transforms itself. And energy is energy. You could do with it what you may. They wanted adrenochrome. They wanted to be pedophiles. They wanted to feel empowered and exercise whatever it is speaking to them that's utilizing their vessel to do this. But that doesn't mean the child can't ascend to this. And that doesn't mean this ascension here that realizes where this came from, which is the connection, right? The connection to ourselves on another level that is there if you tap into it, which is this, to be conscious and aware of all that. Let's go to a space where we can work with that, even energetically. And need I say more? Um, that space is very real for me because I have a child that ascended out of the 3D when it was born, but I was in so much turmoil and pain because of the things that I had experienced when I was a child, that I felt like it might as well had been that. So I was walking around dead until I got in touch with this different angles of light that I did not know. You can't know what you don't experience, but yet good and love came to me through people. So, on a different level, if you're conscious and aware of that, there might be a space where you can visualize how that manifests. Like my daughter that passed away when I was in darkness stayed with me and helped me walk into the light as part of my throat chakra. And because of that connection I have with Angel Blue, the child that beings come into this world for a reason, you know. If you, depending on your perception, if you allow it, if you allow yourself to have that connection, and it helped me grow because I didn't want to feel that. It just connected me to a lot of pain, like how this kind of stuff, the disruption in people's childhood, is causing more adult pain, you know. And looking at how that cycle plays out on different levels was pretty. It was like when you keep poking a wound and you keep inflicting pain on something, on top of something, on top of something, and it never gets to heal. It's like, when are we going to start caring about what's precious, you know, and how that's developed? Anyway, it's because of my child, Angel Blue, that another porthole opened up, and I ended up having a connection with these children, with children that were harmed. And on another level, it came to me. And I was like, that's wild. You know, how could this be? But it's true. And it's very much a space there. And I'm honored to hold that space. You know, they help me um, walk through different layers of energies because they're still innocent. But they also recognize the decrepity that's going on. So it's a nice little safety net to be aware of, to be a part of, to be conscious of. And so I'm honored and grateful. Anyway, this picture came to me recently and reminded me of that. It also reminded me of reincarnation and children, the star seeds, the changing of guard, the changing of the energy, and how there is a partnership in this healing. There's a transcendence between the physical realm and the spiritual realm and our deeds, and how this is manifesting and where energy is going. So when we tap in, that's their intention is very important. Intention, 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 and weighing of the heart. And even though you were hurt, you don't have to be a hurt person working to hurt other people. You can be the wounded healer. You can be. But in order to do that, I know this sounds very trendy, you have to become the hope you want to see. You have to eradicate your own darkness so that you're not spreading it. And when you're able to do that and you have the message and you have courage enough to share that, because that's our human part, and ego wants us to keep quiet about that and pretend that, I don't know, that we're so much better than we actually are. When the true message is in, man, I was in so much freaking darkness. I don't even know how the freak that was lifted. It only took a miracle. It only took a miracle. And it only took the coverage from things that were not here to cover me, to make me even want to step out of that and have this kind of mentality and this kind of perception. That is not me. I was truly in the dark. I was stuck in that X. You know, there's so many ways to kill a child, spiritually or physically. Anyway, I know the message is kind of heavy, but it really doesn't have to be, because it's all light on a spectrum. And it's how we spin it and change it, and what our heart really wants, and how hard we're willing to work to get to that place where the perception is able to connect with the higher frequency, so we can raise the consciousness level of the planet. Empower yourself. That's something that these snakes can't have. They had the fear, and they may have mutilated the body, but they don't have that spirit. Look where it is. But whoever taps in, much love to you and yours. This is Siren Buddha Medicine. I'm out.